Pussy Gloves here, and this is the 11th video in the Kontakt from the Ground Up tutorial series. And today we're going to be talking about collecting your samples so that you can make your Kontakt instrument, make it great, make it really clear, crisp sound. And so I used to play flute. I actually play a variety of instruments, so we're going to do a flute. I'm not the best flute player, but I am good enough to get what I want for now. You may consider finding musicians who are good at what they do if you intend to make instruments about that kind of stuff. If you're doing piano or something, it's mostly just about vision. And we're going to cover two groups of samples today because we're going to make a flute, at least in mine, we're going to make a flute. And I'll make these samples available so that you can go and get the exact same samples and do all of that stuff. It'll be done through my website. You'll have to become a member if you want those samples. But we're going to get a vibrato flute, and then we're going to get a straight tone flute. And we're not going to do different volume levels. See, when you're collecting samples, when you're recording, you really have to think ahead. What do you want your instrument to do? How in detail do you want it to be? The more samples, the greater the detail. It'll also take more memory. So you got to think of what you want to do. We're just going to make a flute just as an example instrument. But we're just going to do one volume level. So we're not going to have different groups at different volumes. Because you could have it where you hit a key softer and it will play a softer flute. And it will sound much more real if you actually have a sample that's softer. But we're not going to do that. So what I look for I've got a Shure SM57. I'm not sure how good the volume was. So I have a Shure SM57. And we're going to record some samples. And what I do is I play the note. And we're only going to do one octave. And I'm not even going to show you the whole octave. I'm going to do some jump cuts. But first we're going to record the straight tone. And what I look for, now you got to think about this. You could, if you were recording a piano or something, you could have like a room mic, another room mic, a mic in the piano, another mic in the piano, a mic outside the piano, a mic just miking you hitting the keys so you can even get some of that key sound in there. Like you could just get really detailed. And that's why some libraries are so big, is because they've gone above and beyond, but that's why they also sound so good. And there's all these different kinds of mics you could get and stuff. So we're just covering the basics. I've got a microphone hooked up. I've got it set up with FL Studios. And we're just going to really quick record a few straight tones. But now you have an idea of somewhat of what you really should do if you want to make a real high quality instrument. But let's record some straight tones real fast. So I have Edison set up. And let's do this. And by the way, I'm not sure how in tune I am. I plan to fix a lot of this in post. And we'll cover editing samples and stuff. I suppose I'll make both available. The dry samples and the edited samples. So that you can follow along exactly with what I'm doing. Because that's something I hate in tutorials, where people do stuff and then you can't follow along anymore because it's been stopped. You'd have to go and do something on your own. Which isn't necessarily bad. Obviously I encourage you to make your own instruments. Hopefully that's why you're watching these. But let's record a few tones. And when I record it all into one big file because I'm going to chop it up later. I'm going to rename it later. And I'm going to edit each one individually. And I record one big file. I do one note and then I stop and then I do another note. And I know that I'm going to want to use loops in this one. So I need a good section of the note where it will loop over and over and over. So that it sounds like it's one continuous tone when you're holding down the key. So let's really quick do that. So I didn't do every single note there, and I only went through a few, but I want to give you an idea of what I'm doing. There's a space in between my notes, and I'm going to record them all separately outside the video, but that's generally the process I go through, and I'm real critical about the note, how it starts, how it ends, and the sections in between. Then we're going to do some vibrato, and I guess I'll play a few of those. So you go on, and you see that a note generally starts soft, and then move into a vibrato. So I don't know, the scripting could get weird. We may choose something else instead. So obviously I didn't record like every single vibrato, and vibrato is gonna get weird because I'm not sure if I want it to start. I'm not sure how the vibrato is gonna work out. That's gonna be an interesting one, and maybe something that I end off. I may not loop vibrato. That could get weird. I don't know, but we'll find out, I guess, as we go. So I'm gonna record the rest of these now, and I'll make those available to you so that we can move on. We're only gonna do one octave. And as again, I'm the flute player, so we'll see the quality that we get out of it. Hopefully we can fix some of it in post. But yeah, that's all that there is for that. If you enjoy these videos, subscribe. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and have a blessed day.